been happening so much in the sustainability space. I mean, I've been specifically in the sustainability space for about 10 years. Before that was the marketing space, and I think definitely within the last 3 to 4 years, it has kind of changed from being this niche topic, this little nerd club that nobody wanted to engage with. And today it's something that every brand marketeer have to talk about, and it's on all the big festival and conference programs around the world. And obviously very much at the forefront of the conversations that consumers are having. Yes, so I'm working on a new book. Actually, the old book is back in 2012, although kind of sometimes reading through it, you're like amazed by, in that aspect, how that is still so relevant that in a way you think that a lot have changed, but when I look back at it, it kind of still is a kind of very valid argument today. The new book is kind of really taking a new perspective. I think it looks at purpose, but also it looks at a purpose in a different way. I think all these brands rushing into this purpose space. So most organizations ask themselves, why do we exist and how can we play a bigger role in this world and all that stuff, which very quickly becomes kind of navel-gazing exercise. You know, we want to save the world, oceans, we want to do this and that. So I call that a hero trap that you run into. So what I'm trying with this new book is to create a conversation about a potentially much more interesting question, which is who can you help your customers become? So it's much more about helping customers do more, achieve more. We know people want to live more sustainable lives. And for the most part, unfortunately, organizations look at themselves like, we're so cool, we can do this, rather than looking at the consumers and saying, you know, how can we help you? How can we enable that change? So that's a bit about the new book. So it's not about the why, it's about the who. Great. No, I think the biggest change that I'm anticipating, and this is already kind of happening, is that complete change from everything to do with mass marketing, mass production, all that stuff. It's just that notion is just kind of dead. And I think what I'm really interested about is really how people today see themselves as the agents of change. And one of the numbers that I picked up in some of the earlier research was from Edelman, that today a lot of young people, I think it's about 48%, see themselves as the change agents. So I think probably the biggest change we're going to see is really consumers demanding to have a much bigger say. And it's much more the role of brands now to kind of help them do that, rather than the approach we're taking today. We're still stuck in this kind of mass marketing, mass brand approach. And I think it's really about kind of changing that, to be honest, and helping consumers. I mean, we've seen what a little Swedish girl by the name of Greta have done in this world, and I think that is really the paramount shift that I'm seeing. I mean, last year, the biggest campaign that came out was not from our industry, it was not from a big brand, it was the Me Too movement. And I think that is a clear sign that brands got to realize that people hold the power. It's almost like in advertising, we should know that customer is king, but I think we keep forgetting it. But I'm not really taking a customer-centric approach, I'm probably more taking a life-centric approach. And I think that's why I'm so fascinated by working in sustainability, because for me, sustainability is really about the good life. And I think this is where brands have such a pivotal role to play in kind of enabling that good life. So that's why I'm so super excited about it. It's really just to kind of focus much more like a magnifying glass on how can you actually enable people and help them. So I think that's a certainty, and I think we see these changes not only at Greta, but we see it across markets, how just one person can kind of get that microphone and with authenticity inspire others. And I talk to a lot of these change makers, and the interesting thing is a lot of them don't look at themselves as the hero, but they're much more kind of the sense of this is for the community and I'm just here as a kind of community facilitator. And I think that's something that brands can learn a lot about, rather than taking this hero trap approach where, you know, they're the world savers. So step down from that pedestal and engage with people. I think then we might be able to change this narrative. So for me, like at a lot of other events, what I always enjoy is the conversations. And because there's a lot of like-minded peers that you feel you're on a mission together, so that's nice. You gain the confidence that when you're about to give up, you're like, yes, I found somebody else who have that burning passion. The second thing why I really like this is that it's so focused on a quickly evolving market, and I think there's so many interesting innovations that's happening in this space, and it's really been fascinating for me to get a little bit more acquainted with that, because I think it is one of the things that a lot of consumers are looking towards. So there's been a lot of inspiration already from my point of view.